I dive into everything, I want to tell you a quick story. So, when I first got into the industry in 2001, there was no social media. Hi, Erin. Good morning, Angie. Hi, Shampoozy. Oh, I can't read Shampoo, Jess. I love it. So, when I first got into the industry in 2001, there was no social media. There was no way to get clients. And I remember getting my first job. I was working in the salon. I was washing hair. I was sweeping floors. I was rinsing color bowls. And I was allowed to take request clients, so friends, family, or people I was getting, but I wasn't allowed to take new clients because I had to get, my feet wet. And I was getting really annoyed with not being fully booked, but I was also really new and I wasn't confident and I didn't really know how to do things. And I was kind of like, oh my gosh, like, but I just want to be fully booked. I just want to be good. And does anyone relate to this? Like, where you're like, I just want to be like 5 years ahead of where I am right now, or I just want to be past this hurdle. Like, if I could just be where I want to be, then I'd be able to maintain it and do it better. But it's like being here in this discomfort, in this newness, in this uncomfortable stage. I just hate it. I'm not enjoying it. Does anybody relate to that feeling? Please tell me that I'm not alone in this. And so in 2001, I got my job and I remember thinking like, did I just get into the wrong industry? Okay. Brandy says yes. I was like, this is taking too long. I thought I'd be done school and I'd like be good at hair right away. Or I thought I'd be done school and I'd be fully booked. And like, no one told me how hard it is to convince people to come see me. And my confidence wasn't good. And I was like, I just want to like be where I want to be. And I remember the day, and maybe because some of you guys might have heard this story before, but I remember the day that I was like, hey, I actually have control. It's in my hands. And if I keep telling people, well, I'm new, if you want to come see me, like that's not going to convince anyone. So I started practicing my confidence. And so, oh, I love that you guys are all saying hi. So I started practicing my confidence and I started practicing learning how to talk to people and how to confidently present myself. And I would really struggle with like, well, I'm not the best and I do still make mistakes. And how am I ever going to be able to, how can I tell someone to come see me when I can't guarantee something? And that's been a struggle that I've had my entire life, if I can be completely honest with you, is I have struggled with like, if I can't guarantee 100%. When I first became an educator, I remember thinking, okay, until I can do hair perfectly every time and a client leaves happy every time, I can't educate people. But what I've learned is the most confident people are the ones that are willing to admit when they get things wrong. And so if you want to be able to get more clients and if you want to be able to build your clientele and if you want to be able to get more fully booked, yes, skill and talent have something to do with that. You want to be good. But I need you to know right now to stop trying to wait until you're perfect. There is legit no such thing as perfect. And the only way to get better is to keep practicing. Get out of your own freaking way. And so, I mean, I'm getting a little spicy this morning. Oh my God, my assistant needs to hear all this. Please make this a replay. These are always saved. And if you didn't know, if you ever miss any of these, I record them live on YouTube. So you can go rewatch them over on YouTube anytime. And they're also put on the Anxious Creative podcast. Scott, my man's in the house. Scott, do you want to go live with me? We could totally do a co-live right now. Let me know. And you can just request to go live. It'd be so fun. So I just want you guys to know I share that story because we get in our way so often. And if you guys saw, I was in Mexico last week and I was doing a lot of hard things. And a lot of times we want to get past the hard thing and we just want to arrive. I want to be fully booked. I want to be hitting six figures. I want to be able to raise my prices. And I can just be on the other side of this decision or the other side of this climb, I'll be great. But the reality is the other side is achieved by going through the hard thing. I did an ice bath last week and it was so hard. And it was in the moment, I was like, I don't like this. My body actually started not shivering, but shaking. It was like releasing comfort. And it was this like transformative experience. I started bawling my eyes out. But I have to tell you that the euphoria, the dopamine, whatever the science of it, I felt so good after. And I don't know, I shared with you guys a little while ago, and I'm really, really excited. I have like a meeting today, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about my journey of getting off of my ADHD meds. And I actually feel better than I did before, during, or after being on my meds. And I can't wait to tell you because I know a lot of you guys suspect being on ADHD, which makes, or suspects having ADHD, or you've been diagnosed. I just want you to know that we've all got, whether it's, learning disability, ADHD, neurodiversity, whatever it is that's gotten in your way, or whatever you've been told that you can't, you shouldn't, you won't, or you're just, let's prove them freaking wrong. Are you guys with me? Let's link arm in arm and show the world that we're not just hairstylists. We're not just hobbyists doing this. We're not just whatever it is. I want you to link arm in arm with me. I'm on a mission. We're going to show the world that we're freaking professionals and that we're deserving. I am on a mission to have minimum everyone making at least six figures in this industry. Are you with me on this? Give me a hell's yes in the comments. Hi, Penny. Give me a hell's yes in the comments. It is our right and we need to claim it. And I know that maybe sounds a little bit, I feel almost like weird and goofy, but let's stop getting out of our own way. So if you want to start getting more clients, just like that story I shared, you need to start believing that you're worthy of getting the new clients first. And I know, I've struggled with mindset stuff. I'm like, no, give me like the nitty gritty. And then what I did is like, give me the actual tangible, tactable things. Hells yes, hells yes. I love this. I don't have I got told to like not wear my glasses because I look more approachable supposedly. But now I can't read the comments. Kenzie hells yes. Angie hells yes. The Curl Temple hells yes. And says hells yes. All these hells yeses. I freaking love you guys. Let's get 30 people in this room. How freaking awesome. I love that we're at like 20, 28 right now. 29 with me. But I want you to know that it starts with working on your mindset. And it's funny because I'd be like, okay, my mindset's good now. But really, do you think you're deserving of what you want? Do you think you're deserving? And if you want help, I want you guys to know that I have my client building bundle. It's $37. Go to donbradley.com/clients and go grab it right now. Seriously, donbradley.com/clients and go get it for $37. It's a no-brainer. It's going to help you get your clientele. But here's the thing. It's not just about like, what do you do? Because here's the thing. You know what to do. And why hasn't it been working? Let's get really honest. Tell me, why hasn't it been working? I want more. Yeah. When you stop doubting, you actually get motivated, but you have to stop beating yourself up. Absolutely. We have to get out of our own way. And so I want you guys to know that I'm here for that. I have my program, Rock Your Business, which is actually going to be opening for enrollment very soon. So keep your eyes peeled. Mark your calendars for April 27th. And if you're already in where's my RYBers at? I know we've got lots of RYBers in here already. And if you're a future RYBer, put future RYBer in the comments. But I want you guys to know that I believe in you. Shy, anxious, awkward, ADHD Dawn didn't think she was going to amount to anything. Got married to someone who also didn't believe that I was much of anything. And so I let this play out because I lived out the label I felt was put on me, and then I put on myself. And I know it can be really frustrating when you feel like everyone else is saying, well, this is who you are, or why, who are you? Like, what are you to do that? Or that wasn't a good choice, or why you shouldn't be spending that much money, or and it's like all this, like, and then all of a sudden, maybe it was only said to you once, but all of a sudden all these voices are in your head constantly, and you're hearing everybody else's voices, and you're not even hearing your own, and you're not even hearing your gut anymore. And you just need to learn to lean on your gut, trust your gut. Honestly, it's like the biggest thing I have learned to lean into. This is my favorite thing. So I was in Mexico last week and I was with the Artist Power Leadership Crew. And at the end, Garen thanked me. And it was like, it means so much to me because Garen's the leader of it. And he said, thank you for being my teacher. He's like, you invested $25,000 into me and you didn't even know who I was. No word of a lie. Can I tell you guys this? Trusting your gut, it's a muscle that I've had to relearn because I was in an abusive marriage that I was gaslit. I didn't even know what gaslighting was. It wasn't like this like hot topic word back in 2011. And I used to record our arguments and I would go to my therapist. I'm like, am I going crazy? Like, is this happening? Like, I don't even understand. And I lost touch with my gut. And my gut was always like my North Star. It always like drew me, even like when things logically don't make sense. I knew that what I would needed and what I needed to do, it's like, it just pulled me there, but I lost touch with it. But I'm learning to exercise that muscle. And I want to help you guys exercise that because I know that you want to be fully booked. I know you want to earn six figures, or maybe it's beyond. Maybe you want to take home six figures this year. I know you need to raise your prices and you need to get out of your own way. I know that you need to stop letting people walk all over you. I know that you need to enforce your policies. And these are all things I can help you with. But if you don't start believing that you're worth it first, I can't help you much. And so I want to remind you guys that this is, and I'm going to tell you more about that investing $25,000, but I want to just remind you guys that this is a safe space, a judgment-free space where we can show up real, raw, honest, and vulnerable together. And if you can commit to that with me, because I just shared with you guys a lot of vulnerable stories, but if you can just put a yes in the comments so that we can show everyone in this room that you're a safe person to be around, because this is live on the internet, and that I don't allow, if there's ever a troll in here, please let me know. But just put a yes in the comments to show everyone else in the room that you're a safe person to be around, that this is a place where we can show up real, raw, honest, and vulnerable together, and that we can learn and grow together. And then also it's going to sell that like inner mean girl voice to get the fuck out of here. Excuse my language. Yes, yes, yes. The curl temple, Maggie, yes. A million times yes, says Kenzie. Love this. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, guess who's going to come live with me, you guys? This is exciting. This is very impromptu. And it's going to be so fun. Anyone watching on Facebook, you're not going to be able to catch this. Come on over to Instagram. Is it letting me accept? This is going to be really good. Hold on. Oh, snap. Oh, wait, I can't hear you. Oh, shoot. I have a microphone plugged in. Is this going to work? Can I hear you? Yeah, I just unplugged my microphone. Hi. Across the continent. You're in Austin, right? I love it. Thanks for coming impromptu live with me. Oh, it's so easy when you're just in a room by yourself talking to your phone. And then I felt like, well, if everyone watching, Scott and I were both in Mexico last week. I felt like I was like, didn't shed a tear for the longest time. And I was like, oh, because I'm with people in real life all of a sudden. Scott, I'm talking about like I was talking about growing your clientele, but really about getting out of your own way. And I know you talk a lot about emotional intelligence and stuff. And I'm curious if you could tell everyone a little bit about who you are and what you do and what you offer. Mm. Does anyone feel like, oh, Ivana's here? Maybe she'll come live with us. She's probably just waking up. Ivana, do you want to come live with us? I'm going to see if she will. Okay, I love that that you're like a deep thinker. And you also like sometimes when you talk, I'm like, oh, like I feel like I'm like peeling back layers while I'm listening to you. It's so cool. And I love that you say like a conscious communicator, because I talk a lot from the business side of things to service providers about how to like compassionately communicate with people. Because a lot of times we put our defenses on and we're playing defense before we're even in a game. We're like expecting a combative response. And that emotional intelligence of like, oh, like what if I'm not predicting the future? And what if I just like show up kind and compassionate? Ivana's saying, I'm in bed and I just woke up. I knew it. I had to wake her up all weekend. So, and you do men's retreats, right? Or what do you, yeah. So we're predominantly women in here, but we do have some men in this group. But where can people find more about you, and what can like what yeah. Yes. Mm. Yes. I've learned to like when I notice myself getting triggered, I'm like, time to get curious because there was something true about that. Yeah, I remember because I have shared this story. I was at my therapist's office or with my therapist, and she's like, "You talk about your business differently." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "You used to talk about like how much you want to help women and like have them know and feel their worth, and now it's like all this business stuff." And I was like, "No, it's not." And then I was like, Oh, that's and then I had this moment of like, "Oh, that's really interesting," because 'cause I'm like, "No, it's still that way," and I wanted to, like, prove to her, but I was like, "Yeah, it's not that I had, like it's not that it wasn't that anymore, it's that I'd, like, got caught up in, like, too much of this stuff," and she's like, "You need to get back to your heart," and that was, like, the moment where, like not to say, like, I don't get triggered anymore, and I'm curious what your thoughts are for people I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people here that are like, "Oh my gosh, my partner or my family member should come, like, learn from you," because, um yeah, I like that you said you don't wanna project, but, like, through experience and exposure, what's shown you is there's a lot of men that don't know how to be in touch with that or have been trained not to be in touch with that side of themselves. Mm, mhm. Oof. Yeah. That's so cool. And so when you because I know what you meant, but you said you and your wife do psychedelic medicine journeys. Is that did I say that right? Do you wanna explain that more to people? I haven't done this ever, but I'm so curious. Okay. Yeah. Mhm. Oh. Mhm. Yes. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, and I was gonna ask what's the difference because people do, like, magic mushrooms recreationally. What's the difference between the 2? Mm. Yeah. Hmm. I love that. That is so, I mean, me and Scott had to have dinner together blindfolded last week, which was super interesting. Yeah, but remember I was like, I'm going to have a vulnerability hangover. I'm not going to be able to look you in the eye. And I avoided Scott the next day. Oh, really? Oh. Mhm. Yeah. It was so cool, and really, honestly, like, doing it blindfolded helps you open up in a whole different way, and, um, yeah, it was really, really powerful, and I definitely want to come and do, a ceremony with you and Emily at some point, maybe in May, maybe when I hope to come down there. Yeah, it scares me, it scares me. I mean, because I've talked a lot about with everyone, like, I've done a lot of recreational drugs in my past. And so it's like with bad experiences of that, it's like, whoo, you don't want to go. I don't want to have one of those experiences. But knowing that what you do and the intention that you do it and the healing that comes from it, it sounds really, I'm really intrigued. I'm really intrigued. Hmm. Hmm. Wow. Hmm. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. It's kind of like becoming or like accepting your ego and like being like, thank you for protecting me. You've done your job. Does that makes like I don't know, but that's what I was thinking. And I feel like someone's saying you're being called to host women's retreats or couples retreats. I love that. And I know I've got my majority of my audience is in the United States. So that makes it a lot easier. Okay. Well, everybody go, there's this little arrow up here. Tap that. It'll drop down. It'll give you Scott's IG handle and you can follow him right now. So just tap that and it'll say a journey of a man. Is that what is your handle? Now I'm forgetting. Now I'm blanking. Journey_man. So when you tap that little arrow right here, it'll pop up. Go and give Scott a follow. Thank you, Scott, for coming live. Very impromptu this morning. This is so fun. Oh, hi, Lucy. My two dogs are downstairs so that they don't bark. We'll definitely have to catch up soon. Maybe we can have like a blinded FaceTime. I like I love that. Let's do it. And everybody, did you guys enjoy? Just give Scott a thank you for coming here. Bree says, yeah, Austin isn't far from me. Look at that. I love it. Everyone give Scott props for coming here and taking time out of your morning. Oh, everyone's loving the puppy. People are really big dog fans around here. I'm so sorry. It's going to be for about the dog. They're like, does your dog have an Instagram? Oh, good. Does she? Oh, I'll follow her from Walter and Lewis's. You have to send me. What's her Instagram? Lucy Goosey 143. Okay, go follow Lucy as well. Scott, I'll let you get on with your day. But you guys stay tuned. Scott and I are gonna have some fun stuff coming up, it sounds like. So we're gonna do some good collabs. Bree says, thanks, Scott. So I can't read without my glasses. Garen told me to stop wearing my glasses so much. Now I'm like, I can't read anything. Thanks, Scott. So glad you came and we got to meet you. Aw. Awesome. Well, thank you, Scott. We'll talk to you soon. Bye. All right. How freaking fun was that? So I know the topic was how to get more clients this way. And it really, I love how you guys, I set this intention when I start these. And I do want to finish up quickly when I talked about investing $25,000 because that I've never done that before. But really the whole purpose of it and the intention I had behind it was like getting out of your own way. Because I like inside of my programs, I give you like the client building bundle. Like I said, it's $37, donbradley.com/clients. Go grab it. Or if you want a free version, go to the link in my bio and click get fully booked in 12 weeks. I have my free client attraction playbook. You can go grab that there and make things really accessible for you. But I give you the step-by-step of what to do. But the first thing you need to do is start to believe that you're capable of doing it, that you're capable of having what you want. Because a lot of times people are like, I'm doing all the things, but I can't seem to get forward. And it's because you're doing it. It'd be like me being like, I'm telling people to come book in with me. It's like, hey, you should book in with me. Hey, you should come get an appointment with me. As opposed to being like, oh my gosh, I love your hair. Oh, I just got to tell you, whoever's doing your hair, they do a fantastic job. And I'm a hairstylist. And I mean, I love what I do and I love working on hair like yours. And if you're ever looking for someone, I would love to have you in. There's a difference between like checking off the list and doing it with passion and excitement. And the energy you put into things is the energy you give out. And even if you're like, I believe I deserve it, I believe I deserve it, but you know deep down you don't, there might be some healing or something that needs to get worked through. And I mean, my time in Mexico was deeply healing. And I got to tell you, I was going through the weekend and people were having these like big, like outwardly transformative moments. And I was kind of going like, my intention went in was openness and clarity. Those were my two intentions. And I was like, I don't even really know, honestly, but I was like, openness and clarity. And by the end of the weekend or the end of the 3 or 4 days, there was little things that happened that piled up to the end. And I think I told you guys yesterday, we had this sound bowl healing where I literally felt everyone in the room being underneath it being like, you're supported. And then I felt like every single like ancestor of mine was like, you're supported, you're not alone. Because one of my deep, deep fears is being alone. And then it was like I had this chisel, and I don't talk a lot about this sort of stuff, and I don't expand on this stuff because sometimes to me it feels like too woo-woo-y. But I felt like I saw this chisel going off around my heart because I've been so protective. I can look, people always like thank me for my vulnerability. And I'm like, oh, thank you. But like things that truly make me feel vulnerable, I'm still working on. I can be quite open and vulnerable, but then also there are other things that feel way more vulnerable to me. So learning to go through learning modalities. You guys know I'm big on therapy. I go to therapy every week, going to retreats, being with other like-minded people, being around people who get you, understand you. And that's why I'm having my retreats. I actually, Shiloh, shout out to Shiloh, just joined the retreat that's happening in 2 weeks. I have a couple spots still left if you want to come to my in-home retreat here in Calgary. I'm actually going to buy a cold plunge. We're going to do it in my backyard. So if you're coming and you want to be part of that, bring your bathing suit. And it's been 17 degrees Celsius, which I think is like 40 or 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's not been too cold here. It's supposed to snow tonight. But I just want you guys to know that trusting that inner knowing, trusting what you and blocking out those people or those things that keep getting in your way, because what you've been doing hasn't been working. So it's time to start investing in something different. And it probably means investing in yourself and your healing and your health and your future. Right? Kelly, oh my God, we're doing a cold plunge. I want to come. So that $25,000, I legit, no word of lie, I'm going to tell you guys a story, and it makes me feel so uncomfortable to tell this because talking about money is a very vulnerable thing for me. I knew last year, I was like, I need to invest in myself. I need to get a business coach and I need to trust my intuition. And I know word of a lie, was scrolling on Instagram and I saw this reel and I was like, oh, that's good. And then I saw another reel of his and I'm like, oh, that's really good. Went to his Instagram, clicked the link in bio, and it immediately took me to fill out a form for a leadership container. And then it was like minimum cost is $15,000. And I was like, you know what? I've got some savings in my business. I don't really want to spend it. But worst case scenario, if I don't make my money back, I've got this money to lean back on. It just felt right. So I applied. I was like, I don't have to pay it right now, but I applied. And then he emailed me, he texted me, and I was like, what the? And I was like, this is probably someone in his office. And then voicemail, but it was actually him. And I didn't know who Garen was. I didn't know he was like some big deal. And I just was like, yeah, this was right. And it feels right. And I just took action. And he actually thanked me last weekend for being his teacher to take action on things and on that intuitive nudge. And so I just want you guys to know that sometimes things don't logically make sense and we can talk ourselves out of it. And I don't ever want to tell you, especially when it comes to money, how to spend your money. But I just want to say, like, if you're getting a pull to do something that you're like, nobody else has done this, or I don't see anybody else doing this, or I don't see, like, nobody's really talking about things this way, that could be a door opening, being like, this is your chance. If you guys have ever heard of the book, I think it's called Blue Ocean, where it says like the more people are talking or doing the same thing, the more it's like a red ocean, meaning there's more sharks in the water, there's more meat to be eaten. You want to get into a place. So if you're like, well, there's just like so many salons in my area, or there's just so many hairstylists, or there's just, you have all these excuses, then find a different approach. Find your blue ocean. Maybe it's talking about things a different way. Maybe it's offering something. I know a lot of my audience, you guys offer like tarot card readings or energy healing or things like that at your hair appointments or aesthetic appointments. I used to offer puppy snuggles, a candy buffet, and chai tea lattes in a quiet atmosphere. Maybe for you, it's having, maybe you're a night hawk. Maybe it's having late night appointments up till midnight for those shift workers. Find what makes you different. And sometimes this is something we talk about inside of Rock Your Business. What's your POD, your point of difference? A lot of times people are like, it's my scalp massage. It's not something that they already get. Don't let it be. And those are great things, scalp massages or like hand massage or whatever it is you do. Those are great things that can like make people want to come to you. But what can you add that doesn't need to cost you money, but how can you position yourself apart from everyone else in some way that has people seeing that, like, wow, not only do I get this service from them, but also this? Amazing. So I'm just going to leave that with you today. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, Scott, for coming very impromptu. You guys definitely go check out Scott. He's an amazing person. Like I said, we got to have dinner. We were side by side blindfolded, and then we had to answer questions of like, what's your goal in life? Like all these things. And it was so, if you can have dinner with your family or your partner or with friends and do it blindfolded, it's so fun. And it also, you might be really amazed at what comes from it. So thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for having a wonderful, thank you for taking part in this. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Like I said, if you want to get more fully booked and you want the more step-by-step, play-by-play, DawnBradley.com/clients. Go grab it now. And we'll see you here. If you enjoyed this live, go ahead and take a screenshot. That's me posing for a screenshot. Tag me and put on your stories so that we can share this love with more people. You guys are amazing. And mark April 27th on your calendar right now in the evening, because we've got something really fun coming up. I love you all. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.